He stood frozen under the golden lights of the ballroom, tux, sleeves slightly worn, shoes polished too many times to hide their age, while whispers slithered around him like smoke. Everyone saw a man who didn't belong. Nobody saw the father who had sacrificed everything. But tonight, fate wasn't done with him, because before the night ended, the world would learn what real worth looks like. They said the charity Gala was for the people. But Amir learned quickly that it wasn't for people like him. He stepped inside holding his breath and clutching his invitation, feeling the weight of eyes that judged before understanding. It had taken him months to save for the ticket, months of skipping meals so his daughter could eat, months of mending old suits so he wouldn't look like the struggling single father he really was. He reminded himself why he was there, an art auction. His late wife's painting, found in a thrift shop, now about to be bid on. She had been the dreamer, the artist, the soul of their little world. When cancer took her, her dreams nearly vanished too, until Amir found one of her forgotten canvases and was determined to protect it, not sell it, honor it. But as he stood there, everything felt wrong. People laughed behind jeweled glasses, swirling champagne like liquid ice. Women in shimmering gowns drifted past him with polite smiles that didn't touch their eyes. Men in tailored suits glanced down at his thrift-polished boots, smirking. He tried to keep his shoulders straight, remembering his little girl at home, Minal, 8 years old, wide-eyed, telling him, "Daddy, Mama's painting is magic. Don't let them take it. She painted love." He couldn't fail her. A group of wealthy guests nearby watched him with thin amusement. Who let him in? One whispered. He probably cleaned the place and wandered in by mistake. Another laughed softly. Imagine thinking charity is for the poor. A third smirked. Heat burned in Amir's chest, shame crawling up his neck. His throat tightened, but he forced himself to stand still, hands behind his back like a soldier. Dignity isn't about money, he reminded himself. It's about love, and I have more of that than all of them combined. That was when the room shifted like a wave of attention turning all at once. She entered. Eliza Rahman, billionaire heiress, hostess of the night. A woman whose name sat on magazine covers and power lists. Yet tonight, she didn't look like a symbol, she looked human. Soft-faced, thoughtful, eyes searching the room like she didn't quite belong either. Her gaze landed on him. No judgment, just curiosity. Something warm and grounding. He looked away first. The auction began, applause echoing, lights sharpening into gold-edged focus. Items flew by at staggering numbers, jewels, yachts, vacations costing more than his entire life savings. Then they unveiled the painting. Her painting. A small gasp left Amir. There it was, warm sunset strokes, silhouettes holding hands in a field, hope bleeding through every brush line. The last piece of the woman who had believed in him when no one else did. A hush fell as the auctioneer announced it. Starting bid 20,000. The number punched him in the chest. He couldn't breathe. He raised his hand anyway. Gasps rippled. Laughter followed. He's joking. That's adorable. Security should keep the help in designated areas. The auctioneer blinked awkwardly. "Sir, do you have verification of funds?" He didn't. He had barely 3,000 saved and a heart full of promises. A voice cut through the noise, smooth, calm, commanding. "I will personally guarantee his bid." Everyone turned. Eliza sat tall, expression steady, chin lifted in quiet defiance as she looked at him. Whispers exploded. "The hostess? Why him? What's happening?" Amir's voice trembled. I didn't ask." "You don't need to," she replied softly, still looking only at him. Love deserves a place in rooms like this. It felt like oxygen rushed back to his lungs. Yet before he could thank her, another bidder raised a hand. 50,000. Then another. 80? Someone smirked at him. "Shall we see if he can keep up?" His heart plummeted. They weren't bidding for the art anymore. They were bidding to humiliate him. He turned to Eliza, panic rising. "Please don't help anymore. They're mocking." "We don't run from arrogance," she whispered. "We rise above it." 200,000, she announced. Silence smothered the room. The painting was his again. He felt tears sting, pride battling despair. But one voice shattered him. "Withdraw my name," a man scoffed. Let him have his pity painting. Laughter. A drunken clap. Amir's shoulders sagged. Eliza touched his arm gently, not like charity, but like respect. He whispered raw, "Why help me?" Her eyes softened. "Because I know what it's like to lose someone and fight alone. For the first time since entering, he felt seen, not as a man without wealth, but as a man with love bigger than any ballroom. That night he walked home, holding the painting, heart thudding like thunder, the world smaller, kinder somehow. Eliza didn't say goodbye. She simply smiled like fate had only opened its first door. Days passed, people whispered, videos surfaced online. Not mocking him, but praising him. Calling him the man who stood for love in a world of grade. Calling her the woman who believed in dignity over prestige. Everywhere messages poured in, parents, widowers, dreamers, people who felt invisible until his moment. Still, Amir returned to his quiet job, his tiny apartment, his daughter, his laughter filling rooms that money could never buy happiness for. But Eliza found him again, not with cameras, not with attention, just with kindness. "I don't want to save you," she said softly one afternoon. "I want to walk beside you." He smiled slowly. "I don't want charity." "I know," she replied. "I want partnership, friendship, maybe one day more, if life writes it that way." They stood there, not rushing fate, letting the world breathe around them, and his daughter raced to his side, hugging his leg, grinning up at Eliza with innocent wonder. "You're the lady who saved Mama's painting," she whispered. "No," Eliza said gently, "your father did." And in that moment, love returned to a home that had known too much loss, not rushed, not forced, just real, earned, possible. Because sometimes life gives storms, but sometimes it gives suns too. And as the world learned, wealth may fill rooms, but love fills hearts. And hearts always win in the end.